Thank you, Ginkgo University, for having me today. Obviously, you would have heard, I'm Andre. I'm a psychological therapist from Australia, and I operate and function in that therapy role in Australia. And here, I'm a vlogger, and I absolutely love it. And it's because your culture is so wonderful and accepting. So thank you, China. So what we can see here is a couple of different photos. On the left-hand side is my hand. Can you see that? I've got a bent pinky. Can you see that? So that was me, and I want you to imagine yourself in my position at that time in my life. Okay. So you used to be a professional, you used to wear a suit like this, you used to have a good salary and a good income. But you lost that job. You weren't good at it or whatever. You tried your best, but you lost that job. And you're in a warehouse and you're working hard. You're doing the best that you can, and you have a baby on the way as well. That was my situation at that time. I was working very hard, I had just lost my job, and I had a baby on the way. Would you be nervous? Hands up if you would be nervous or scared in that kind of situation. I was certainly very nervous and very scared. But I had a faith that I knew I'm not going to be here forever. I know that this is just a period of my life, and success is on the way. And on the right-hand side we see, do you know that movie in the middle? Okay, Nerja or Nazwa. So that's actually me on my Douyin, and I was talking about Nerja. And it's cool because I found a success here in China that I didn't know was waiting for me. Those series of videos got 4 million views in 1 week. And I really love speaking to the Chinese audience. My heart, before I move forward, is to reveal the beauty of China to the Western world through social media. So my 20s were a mess. Your 20s don't need to be a mess, but my 20s certainly were. I was actually fired twice. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good experience. But sometimes we have to go through failure to get to the other side where success awaits you. I also experienced a forced resignation 3 times. That means you did the best that you possibly could, but they made it so hard for you, you had no other options but to resign. So that happened to me 3 times. And I was also self-employed. I tried again. So let me tell you the full story. When I finished school, I was very confused and I didn't know what to do with myself. All of my family, all my aunties, all my uncles, and my parents all said, Andre, there's profit and money, lots of money, in real estate and construction, which is real estate development or property development, depending where you are in the world. And I tried. And you can see I tried really hard. I tried 6 different times in different ways. Every time I kept meeting failure. But in my 20s also, I had, like you see there, big failures, but I had some little successes along the way too. I worked at an Apple store, and I was the top 10 out of 180 staff in that store. It was a very big store, and by some metrics, I was the #1 salesperson in the store for consecutive years. So I was confused. And the last one, I volunteered in different roles in different communities, leading youth groups. And I led over 100 people in 5 different groups. So I was confused. Why do I have so many failures over this side of my life, but on this side of my life I'm experiencing these successes? And that's when it came to me needing to dig further into my personality. Again, I'm having successes over here, when it has to do with leading people, selling things, and using my charisma. But over here, if I'm behind a computer, I keep failing. Spreadsheets, I keep failing. So, hands up if you know MBTI. Do you know MBTI? Again, hands up if you know what your personality type is according to MBTI. Okay, most of the room, that's pretty good. So, for those that don't know, it was developed by Isabel Briggs in the mid-1900s. It was based on Carl Jung's personality theory, and it measures personal preferences. So it looks like this, basically. And depending on how strongly you agree or disagree, you're going to put your little cursor and click on it. It's online, if you haven't done it. The problem with that is it can change over time depending on your preference, how you feel, and your experiences of late, which means recently. Throughout my 20s, I was always an ENFJA, or the protagonist, because I love people. I want to help people. I want to serve them. And in any way, shape, or form, I want to protect them and defend them. Now, you see the A? Does everyone know what the A is? You go ENFJ, and there's an A. So the A is assertiveness. And some of you would get a T for turbulence. And we'll have a look at that as well. So throughout my whole 20s, I was an ENFJ, but then I got to China, and my wife is a Chengdu Ren, she's from Chengdu, and she said, honey, I think your personality has changed. And I said, what do you mean? She said, you should redo the MBTI test. So I redid it. In fact, it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I redid the test, and I was a different personality type. I was ENTJA, the commander. And I was confused. I didn't know you could actually change personality type. But remember how I said it depends on your preferences at the time? I've come from Australia working for others for so long. I've come to China and I want to be true to myself. I want to be genuine to myself. I believe I'm an entrepreneur and I'm meant to be an entrepreneur who takes risk. And that means my mindset has become more ENTJ. So it means I'm laser focused in everything I do. Again, before I thought, am I clashing or do I have 2 personality types? Dr. Jordan Peterson quotes, if you put yourself in a new environment, new genes turn on in your nervous system. You're full of biological potential that won't be realized or unlocked unless you face new challenging circumstances. So you actually grow new parts of yourself as you take on challenges as opposed to shrinking back in fear. So these are the 2 different results that I was getting. And I'm not just one, and you're not just one. With time, like I said, you'll develop that personality type. And now I'm actually, at least in private with my family, very loving, very caring. I'm a great dad, or I'm self-confessing here. My wife says I'm a good husband. My kids say I'm a good dad. So that's the loving side of me. But when it comes to my work, I have to be a lot more focused as an entrepreneur. So remember, we're talking about assertiveness and turbulence. Well, the dictionary.com definition is an assertive person is more calm, confident, and laid back. A turbulent person is more anxious, self-conscious, and perfectionist. You know what I realized? In my 20s, when I was working the wrong jobs, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, not living and working in accordance with who I really genuinely am. I was turbulent. I was always anxious. I was always self-conscious and perfectionist. Now that I'm working in the right role, in the right place at the right time, I'm a lot more calm, confident, and laid back. My personal definition is assertiveness is the willingness to express your concerns with yourself. That means to be real, be honest to yourself too. Have those conversations, and that's the conversation I needed to have with myself. Andre, you're in the wrong role. You're in the wrong place. You need to take risk and step out. And turbulence, unwillingness to express your concerns with yourself and others. So do you know this guy? He's a world champion. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name because I'll probably say it wrong. But what a champion. Now look at his weight. He weighs 69 kilograms, but he can lift 165 kilograms. This is amazing. And so when you're living in accordance with your genuine self, your own personality, and you're working in accordance with what you love to do, you can lift really heavy things. And what I mean by that is you can do great things. You can do great things. But if you're trying to live in accordance with what other people told you to do, and that's exactly what I experienced with my family telling me how I should live my life, I tried to pick up the weight, but I can't lift it. And I tried again, and I can't lift it. And every time I tried, I couldn't lift it. But now I'm living in accordance with who I've been made to be and what I love. And so this was my 30s. I started working as a youth mentor, helping youth, kids with ADHD, kids with autism, and different personality dysfunction. And I was quickly promoted 5 times in 2 years. This is when I finally realized I'm in the right place. I'm finally doing what I love and what I'm good at. We moved to China. I tried being an English teacher and it was just horrible for me. I was working with kids in a kindergarten. So we took a big risk, my wife and I took some time to convince her. We started a counselling company, and since then we've helped so many people through counselling individually and through our couples therapy as well. I started vlogging and doing social media, and I love it. Like I said, we've had 17 million views, and so far it's a small account in different places, 38,000 followers. So the 4 main lessons that I learned was, you need to be your authentic self. The MBTI helped me to find who I am and to live in accordance with it. Number 2, don't live the life others simply say you should, because nobody knows you better than your reflective self. When I say reflective, I mean be honest with yourself. Sit down and journal. Think about, am I on the right path? Number 3, don't live your life simply chasing money. It only leads to empty unfulfillment that's in your soul. You'll feel it. I feel empty, and unalignment with your personality. Number 4, assertiveness is crucial for breaking free from internal and external barriers. MBTI has limitations. It's imperfect. It's based on your preferences at the time you do it, like I said. In terms of your work, it depends on you exploring what you really enjoy doing. I have a cousin in London, and obviously I live here. We have the exact same personality type, but we work very different jobs, and that comes down to what we love doing personally. And when it comes to romance, it's not about a personality type or a psychology website telling you who you match well with or who you match best with, compatibility. It comes down to how hard you're willing to work on your relationship. I'll end with this. This is a poem by H.L. Neri. If you don't like your work, you'll need 3 times the energy to force yourself to work, to resist the force, and finally to work. If you love your work, your desire to do it will be like a wind to propel your ship with much less fuel. If you like your work, you work no more, for work when you like it is work no longer but sheer enjoyment. If you enjoy your work, you'll work and work without counting the hours, and you'll reap and enjoy more earnings as well. So please, stay true to yourself, find what you love and do it with all your heart, and you will achieve great things. Thank you.